Okay, good evening. Today I'll be talking about working off your daily routines, setting up at least 3 hours of your time every day. Much like the routine tasks that I work on, writing and recording videos, I missed out on the idea of continuing work after these two routine tasks. Since it takes me about an hour or so to get this video completed and my reflections finished, why don't I go straight to coding work? A slight problem with this kind of workflow is that I have to post what I write on a website that encourages me to view other websites on the same browser. With recording, I see all of those notifications and other videos that interrupt my workflow on my phone. Is it still possible to continue through? Can you muster up enough willpower to leave that for a different time? I'll be talking about phone usage. While it is somewhat unusual for you to get a call in the evening, I had to make sure my phone was not on Do Not Disturb to receive this one urgent call. And while writing this topic, I checked my phone to see if I had anything important on the lock screen. That feeling of wondering if is always possible. So, to prevent this issue, you can always let the person know about your busy times if this is a possibility. And also be talking about web usage. Now, this hasn't been a problem for me yet. And well, it is convenient for me to use a password saver extension to access certain places. So incognito mode is out of the question, and that's for you Google Chrome users. And there is an alternative. However, it does have a learning curve, and it can help you create a web browser and a text editor combination. And this is from Emacs. So I'll talk a little bit about Emacs, although it is more geared towards programmers. Working off your daily routines. Now, to me, this feels like a great idea to get started on. And especially if I'm doing these videos, these reflections every single day, I can add on to coding. And now phone usage, it's standard. You see notifications. Sometimes they're busy. You can what you can get started on to help this idea flourish is to wake up early on a day like maybe Saturday, Sunday, any day of the week. You wake up at 7, you get started on this writing task, and you start recording videos. And by then, you'll probably be done by 8 a.m. This is a situation for me. So I'm done by 8 a.m. I can get started with some breakfast as well, or I could even have breakfast before getting started into this. And as soon as I get back on the computer, I'm doing coding work. I'm not looking at anything at all. How would you break out of this habit? This habit of not looking at your phone, per se. I normally have it on silent. I normally have it on Do Not Disturb. There's a couple of factors, really, that you can use to gear this towards the workflow that you're after. And it really comes down to consistency. You start 1, then 2, and then 3. You get used to starting the third task. And that's a big part there. In order to have this task started, you want to invest at least 3 weeks for this task. You need at least 21 days to get this going. If you have 21 days started, it becomes a habit. That is at least the minimum that you should put yourself through in order to push yourself through the month, and just configuring your mind to do this task and to invest this amount of time only for you to work on. 3 weeks. Now, if I added coding after recording my videos, I would have something going. And it is October 13th. And if I get started on coding, it's perfect. The perfect opportunity to have that workflow that I'm looking for. And now with web usage, now this is a big problem of mine. And I'll admit, this is, there's moments where I wake up and the first thing that's on my mind is like this curiosity. I have to look at these forums, the chat box, so many things going on all at once. And the first thing that to get your time started is to start working on the first task. And in my case, that would have to be the reflections that I'm writing every single morning. I have to make sure that I get that started and nothing more. I even have to make sure that that becomes a part of my 21-day plan to have no distractions whatsoever. And so if you have no distractions, and on top of that, you have the third task that you're working on, you'll definitely have something going there. Now, if you have something different throughout the week, like throughout the day, maybe an appointment that you have to get to, that's fine. You can change that around. As soon as you go over to that appointment, you get right back home and you get started on that task. You just forget about everything else that has to do with these distractions that capture your attention, and just continue the workflow as if it was step 1, step 2, and then step 3. Until next time, I'll be working on another segment. I do believe that the workflow segment will be expanded more on in terms of working from 1 to 3 and possibly even more. So I'd like to talk more about that tomorrow. Until next time.